Hello and welcome to PB Precipice. I am Midnight Vesper, filling in for Adef on this wonderful, wonderful day. Here on PB Precipice, we feature runners as they are getting very close to their personal best in speedruns, and we have an amazing showcase for you today. But first, a couple announcements. Do not forget that Awesome Games Done Quick 2023 online prize submissions are open from now until December 30th. Head on over to gamesdonequick.com for more information. And do not forget, the schedule for Frost Fatales 2023 will be released on December 21st as well. So you can go to submissions.framefatales.com and let us know what you're hoping to see on the schedule. And if you want to follow up what GDQ is up to, you can use !links in the Twitch chat for all things GDQ. And of course, speaking of all of that, your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick, both with Hotfix and with Awesome Games Done Quick 2023 online. So please consider subscribing if you enjoy the daily GDQ content. And as for that daily GDQ content, it's mostly weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern, weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. And with that being said, we have an amazing showcase here with Railcoon, one of our very own, showcasing a Crimzon Clover World Explosion. How are you, Ray?
I'm doing pretty well. So just right off the bat, you said speed runs. We're not quite speed running today. We're score running. This has happened on PB Precipice before, so it's not, the most unusual. But, score running and speed running are pretty closely related in a lot of senses. You're doing a lot of the same things. You're practicing in the same ways. It's similar. And it's still, especially in a game like this, which is a Danmaku, also known as bullet hell, can be very difficult.
I actually had no idea it was actually called Danmaku. I just learned something.
Yeah, if you hear Danmaku, that word gets thrown around. It is the word that literally translates to bullet hell. So it's where the term bullet hell comes from.
That's something new.
But before we get started, I made a slideshow, like I did for Fant's show, kind of going over some of the basic mechanics, because this game is a lot to look at, and hopefully for people who just want to hang out and watch some chill shmups, this will help you understand a little bit more. So there's a Crimzon Clover World Explosion. It's the most recent release of Crimzon Clover. It started off as a doujin shooter, an indie published shooter that is very different than it is now today. And we're going to be playing the arranged version, which is exclusive to the Explosion version, which came out last year. So I'm going to be going over the mechanics of arrange. This does not apply to arcade or the other modes. So just be aware that a lot of these mechanics are different in the other modes. So this is the screen, and there's a lot going on. Hang on, I'll share this so Vesper can see in Discord.
Thank you.
There you go. That's the screen. There's a lot going on. So we're going to break this down into small parts. This is why I wanted to go over it real quick. Over here, these are our score multipliers. Break rate is a flat multiplier that gets multiplied onto any points you earn. And as you earn points, kill enemies, you go into your hyper mode known as break. That will increase. Anytime you use a bomb, you'll lose about a third of that multiplier. And if you die, you lose about 25% of it. Below that is the rank. Currently, it's set to high. What that does is it increases the bullet density and increases the amount of points you can gain. Beneath it, there's the green number, the 25.6. That is another multiplier that's multiplied onto the break rate, onto the base score, which generates huge amounts of points. And the small number below it is the timer left on it. The way you generate the green multiplier is by locking onto enemies and killing them. The more enemies you kill in a single lock-on, the more that number goes. 25.6 is the highest it goes, but it can only go to that when you're in high rank, which is that red bar that fills as you stay alive without dying. So the goal for going for high score is you're trying to stay in high rank so that you can increase your multiplier in the green number and charge your break rate up really high and get some ridiculous point scores. Entering the break modes and the double break modes also increase the rate at which your break rate will increase. So we're going to be using those hyper modes a lot. Right here is the ship. If you look closely in the center of the ship, there's a little glowing dot in the center. That is your hitbox. Like most other Danmakus, you need to actually have a bullet overlap that tiny dot in the center for you to actually take a hit. And around us currently is the shield power-up exclusive to the range mode. You can't bomb on demand in a range. The only way to bomb is if the shield takes a hit. It'll bomb, reduce your break rate, and completely reset your power-up meter at the bottom. Right here are the bullets. If you look very closely, you'll see there's a dark outline around the bullets, like in most Danmakus. Grazing the edge of a bullet with your hitbox does not make you take damage. You need to hit the brighter part of the bullet in the center with your hitbox to actually be hit by the bullet. In some instances, the very good players will do this on purpose, and you'll see them appearing to be flying through the bullets because they're grazing the edge. I'm not quite good enough to do that on purpose, but maybe one day. Down here is the Gradius style power-up meter. In a range, you start much weaker than in the other modes, but you use this power-up meter to power up your ship, and you can become even more powerful once you're at full power than in the other modes. Over here on the left is the brake meter. This little window opens up when you're braking, which is the hyper mode, and the percentage counts down to show how much time you have left on your brake. Brake makes you do more damage and generate more points. Up here in the top left is just an input display. It's showing a D-pad. I'm playing on an analog, but it doesn't properly show the analog unless you're using a fight stick. So you'll see me moving in more directions than 8 directions. I'm not actually playing on a D-pad. And this is the Gradius meter, which is a lot to look at, but it starts at the bottom with the blue ones, and each time you use a power-up, it moves up one. So there are 4 levels of speed, 4 levels of lock-on, 3 levels of option, brake mode, and shield. The purple magenta ones at the top only appear once you've maxed them out and do different things. So speed, if you use that one, moves you back down to speed level 1, which slows your ship down. Once you're on full lock-on, which makes it so you can lock on to the maximum number of ships, it gives you an upgrade that changes where your lock-on searches the screen, and then you can also switch it back afterwards. Option on this ship, because I'm using type 1, changes to a homing, where your options, which are the little turrets that follow you around, will chase around enemies on the screen and help you take out enemies that are more rapid, like spread throughout the screen more easily. Then formation sets it back to its default mode. And if you brake, you see the arrow pointing up to the next bar, the bar changes. You have to fill up that bar to get a double brake. And once you're in double brake, you get the option exclusive to a range called extend brake, which gives a less percentage towards your brake meter, but lets you stay in double brake longer. And double braking is the best way to charge up your multiplier, which means it's the best way to score points. So on several stages, we're going to be trying to chain those extend brakes together as long as we can. But each one of these bars takes more points to fill. So as we're generating points towards this meter, it means that extend brake is the hardest one to reach, and it gives the least amount of brake percentage. So trying to chain them together is very difficult, makes you have to play very risky, have to point blank enemies, put yourself in dangerous situations if you want to hit those extend brakes. And that's the very, very basics of Crimzon Clover.
That's a lot. I'm really, really excited to see all of this now. Thank you so much for that.
So we'll switch back to the game here. I'm going to start off with a 1cc run, which is a arcade terminology for 1 credit clear. Just to warm up, and also on PB Precipice, we like to do a full run, and I'm trying to be a gremlin for score right now, so we are very close to getting a PB. I could get the PB during this show, or I could just keep eating it because I take stupid hits. So we're just going to start off, try to get a 1cc, show off the game for you, and then we'll get into potentially resetting when I make mistakes.
All right, well, I'm ready whenever you are.
So we're going to select a manual. If you do semi-auto, then what it does is it will select the power-ups for you, but it doesn't use your meter efficiently, so it'll get like halfway into the speed before it actually picks the speed, which then wastes some of the meter. Stage 1 is surprisingly difficult because we have a very optimized route, to try and power up our ship as fast as possible while still scoring. So what I'm going to be trying to do is use my meter very efficiently, trying to overfill each power-up that I'm taking the least amount that I can so that I can charge things up really fast. So we've got full lock now, which means that we can get the maximum lock-on bonus. We now have full speed. We have full options. We're going to go for shield next, which will give us temporary boost to our rank meter, which then will let us go into high rank very early. Speed killing those ships there spawns an extra tank here, which gives us more of these big stars, which are worth points, and they also fill up your meter a little bit faster. So now we're point blanking in this section. Oh, we took a shield hit. That's frustrating, but we're going for 1 CC, so we'll keep going. So we lost our high rank. We're going to try to keep this multiplier going before we refill our shield.
There's just so much going on. I can't even figure out what to concentrate on sometimes.
Probably shouldn't have extended break there. Probably should have gone for trying to get a shield here instead. But I had the extend break ready, and it's hard not to press the button. All right, we get our shield back, so we're back in high rank. That hurts our score on the first stage quite a bit. Usually a good score for me on the first stage is 2 trillion. So bullet hells are probably the only genre where points matter, like even less than pinball machines. So a lot of these bosses have individual parts that you can break. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting the 2 side turrets low health. So I then can charge up a double break and kill the turrets while in double break. Because in double break mode, the stars they drop are bigger stars that are worth more points. I took a hit on the shield. This is why we're starting with the 1 CC attempt, just to warm up. Taking a hit on your shield is bad because early on it means I drop out of high rank, but also it just completely destroys your break rate multiplier. So on a good stage 1, I'd be finishing that stage around like 47,000 break rate, and we had 20,000 instead since I got my shield hit twice. So we're gonna get our shield back. Stage 2 is rather difficult if you're going for score. There's a lot of little optimizations you can go for that add a lot of difficulty.
So when you're doing these types of high scores and playing this game, what is your main focus of concentration?
You're thinking ahead because these games are predictable on where enemies spawn. In some stages, they change how they spawn based on things you do. So you've got a route through the stage. You're trying to control things for your optimal route that you figured out. And unless it's a very dense bullet pattern, I'm usually not looking directly at my ship. I'm looking at the bullet patterns and figuring out, like, where's my safe spot? Where can I go? Thinking a few steps ahead, not just trying to stay in the moment. Because if you're only looking at the bullets that are on the screen and not thinking ahead, you'll get trapped in a corner. That's where easy situation to happen, where the bullets spawn and you're dodging away and you find yourself in a corner and there's no safe way out of the corner. So these little trains that load up and shoot these mines are a huge source of points. Every one of those mines creates a large star. And then when you destroy the train that spawned them, it deletes the bullets on the screen, but still keeps all those stars it spawned. So I'm trying to, without getting too risky, because we're just going for a 1 CC attempt, because we're still warming up, just trying to get a couple extra stars out of those. Didn't mean to grab that now. We're going to grab it eventually, so it's fine. I missed the shield upgrade. picked up too many stars at once, so it actually filled my meter very quickly, and it cycled around. I was trying to get a shield upgrade there. Yeah, and like people are saying in chat, this is the not being able to bomb on demand actually adds a lot of difficulty to this mode. The only way to bomb is have your shield popped, and since that's not good for scoring, you don't really want to do that. Oh. That was a silly hit. It's fine though. Believe it or not, even with this not great start, we could still PB. My PB still has a lot of stupid deaths in it. Because it's the classic shmup experience of you sit in training mode for hours at a time and you try to get really consistent at a stage. And then the moment you're in an attempt, you just start taking dumb hits. And it's like, you can do better, but actually doing it is difficult.
I think that's just me with every speed game that I do.
It happens a lot more in shmups, though, just because the skill cap is so high.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, so one thing that we're going to try to do, I missed it on the first boss, is if you have a full lock-on onto a boss, and you kill them with a full lock-on, when they die, they start just spewing a bunch of these extra stars at the end, which is also a bunch of extra points, but also gives you more meter down at the bottom to deal with.
Not bad.
So we're moving on to stage 3. Stage 3, the first part is a little bit easier than what we just came out of, but there's some good opportunities for scoring. I mistimed that. I was trying to get my lock bonus back. I broke too early. That's fine. We're still warming up. Just trying to hope to get a 1C for you all, just to get things started. And then after that, we can start going for the much more optimal strats. I would ideally like to get my high rank back. One thing about the rank meter that I did not mention is the later on in the game you are, like the later stage, the faster that rank meter increases on its own naturally. So early on, when I lost it, like getting the shield back to get back into high rank was very important. If that happens in stage 4 or 5, you'll wind up back in high rank very quickly.
It's just hard because there's like just so much going on sometimes.
Yep. Believe it or not, for people who are, oh god, gosh dang it, people who are not familiar with bullet hells, there are 3 difficulty modes above this.
Jeez.
So I was just about to be back into high rank, and then I took another death. So that's going to hurt the scoring of the stage a lot. I might go for a shield just to get back into high rank before the end of the stage. The sides of these ships here are little turrets that delete everything on the screen when they die, and also drop big stars. So trying to get both those side turrets is very important for scoring. The way you increase the timer on your multiplier, gosh, immediately lost the shield, is killing enemies with lock-on shots, killing enemies period, or anytime you delete bullets on the screen, it adds time onto the multiplier for every bullet that's deleted. So taking advantage of enemies that delete bullets to keep your multiplier going is very important.
These are games that I just...
And if you couldn't tell, this is the hard section of this stage. I said the first part of the stage was easier, that this is the more difficult part. I keep also missing my lock-on shots, like they die before the lock-on shits hit, lock-on shots hit, excuse me, which then means I don't get the multiplier. I need to get homing for this boss. Homing is very, very good for this boss because there's a point where it forces you to circle around behind the boss to avoid getting hit, and you can't do damage to it while that's going on, obviously. But with homing, it takes all these options that I have, the little turrets on the side of the ship, and they'll stay on the front of the boss. I messed up that dodge. It's going to be more difficult to get homing here now. Because every time you die, it downgrades your speed by 1. And if you have maximum options, it removes the top level of option. It doesn't downgrade by 1, it's just you'll stay at 2 options instead of 3 if you keep dying. But it does add some level of difficulty in some situations, because like in certain areas of the game, having high speed is very, very helpful. And then you die and you lose one of your speed upgrades. Yeah, I do not have homing, so this is gonna... I really want homing for next stage, though.
Better recovery, though.
But you can see this is why I generally start off any attempt with just like a 1cc attempt, just to warm up. You don't expect to PB on the warm up attempt. Gonna try to get this lock on kill. There we go.
And even then,
get the homing. Sorry, what's up?
I was gonna say, because I know you like, warming up. You need to warm up for this. Like even outside of this, like speedrunning, like warming up is always a good thing. As a musician, you know, I'll spend like a good like hour if I'm gonna go like on stream and play music or something like that. I'll spend like a good hour just practicing and getting my, you know, muscles and whatever ready.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like I could warm up before the show, but since the whole point of this show is to like see PB attempts and how they really look in a live situation, I figured doing the warm-up attempts, the warm-up run at the start live was probably a fun way to do it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So this stage is just difficult. And at the end, there's a boss that can be milked for points. And that's a shmup term where you don't kill them instantly because keeping them alive means you can get more points. And we're in stage 4, so the boss isn't easy. And we're going to leave it alive on purpose to try to get more points. This is risky.
Sounds like it.
We're going to get the single break extend there. If we killed these ships fast enough, a third wave spawns, took a hit to my shield, and didn't kill them fast enough. We're still in high rank, though, because the shield bonus of getting into high rank, that's just a temporary on top of the meter. It's still building in the background. And since stage 4 builds the meter much faster, we've stayed alive this entire time. So shield breaks, it removes the temporary bonus, but it's still high enough that we're in high rank. You can milk this boss for a lot of points, but I'm not consistent at it, and we're warming up, and we're also not PBing on this run, so I'm just going to kill this boss.
No, I know you said you're on like stage 4. How many stages are there, or is it just based off of like with difficulty, or is it based off of a number of different ways?
There's 5 stages. If you look in the bottom right, there's a score breakdown per stage. In the top right, there's a score breakdown of this stage. EX items are those large stars. Regular items are those little yellow pyramids that are flying at me right now. They turn into bigger ones when you break, like that. Shot hit is anytime you shoot an enemy, you get a little bit of points. It's affected by your break rate. Flush is anytime you delete bullets on the screen, you get a little bit of points. And enemies is the base amount you get for killing enemies. Each enemy has their own value. Generally, enemy item and EX item are the biggest source of score.
And when it comes to games like just generic bullet hells where you just have to constantly kind of almost feel like you're concentrating on everything, how hard is it to do commentary? And like I noticed you earlier, you were looking at chat, like how hard is it to do all of that? Well,
it's hard. So what I did to practice for this show and when I was on Fant's show was most of my practice for this show was done in Discord calls, talking to people. Because it's very important, it's been studied psychologically, that there's a few things that are very important when you're practicing for an event. Trying to practice the same time of day is very important, but also practicing under similar conditions. So like if I just focused on just playing the game and getting better at the game, it'd help. But the moment I'm trying to talk while doing it, it's going to throw a wrench in all of my practice. It's not as helpful. So I was intentionally just joining friends' Discord calls, hanging out, playing the game, talking about unrelated things, trying to hold a conversation, because it's the best way to practice for something like this.
that's good advice just for for commentary and for other speedrunners in general, I feel like, too.
Yeah. It translates beyond shmups. Like anytime you want to do a live run of a speedrun, same thing works. All right, these turrets are how we milk the boss. So every time you kill each pair, it spawns a new pair. And each time you kill the turret, it deletes all the bullets on the screen, which gives us some of those flush points. And it drops some of these EX items. Also, we're getting full lock-ons, so we're getting the full multiplier. We can break every now and then for more points. If you play it really risky, you can point blank and get some double breaks too. But we're just going for the 1cc, so we're just doing this. In the other modes, you can do this almost indefinitely. In a range, they put a time limit on all the bosses. So after a while, the boss is going to start glowing, and then it'll self-destruct. That's hard. I got myself into a corner. So you have a limit on how long you can milk this in a range. So I don't have to be worried about being super optimal, getting the absolute maximum point value out of this. You just want to get until where it times out. If you point blank these mines, they don't actually spawn bullets when they die, which is very helpful, because that section is very difficult when they're spawning the full revenge bullets. But you're playing it really dangerous because you're really up close to the boss, and if you make contact with the boss, you take damage, so... Yeah, I had to back off, and then I got myself trapped into a corner. Oh, this is difficult. Is that a full lock-on? Oh, no. I really want homing for the next stage. So I'm going to have to try to get homing as fast as I can. Stage 5 is ridiculous. Stage 5 is basically 2 stages mashed into one.
Ooh, wow.
It's very long, it's a big test of endurance, and it ends in what we call the hallway of death in the community. You'll understand why when we get there, and you'll know which one is the hallway of death when we get there. Even for somebody who maybe isn't familiar with shmups, it will be very obvious. So I'm trying to get this homing upgrade because it is extremely helpful on this stage. It's technically not optimal, but it makes it so much safer and more consistent. And you'll see that we're back in high rank already in just a couple of seconds, because that's how fast the rank meter increases on stage 5. You need to make use of the fact that a lot of the enemies in this stage, when you kill them, delete all the bullets on screen, or they delete their own bullets. Like those turrets, when they die, their huge laser gets deleted, which is great for scoring because the lasers are basically a bunch of bullets mashed on top of each other. So every time you delete a laser, you get a bunch of bullet deletions, which is good for the points, and also it means that you're getting a lot of the multiplier. If you speed kill that first missile ship here, then it spawns a third, and then we just sit there spamming our shot, tapping it to shoot the missiles without damaging the ship too fast, because we can just get some more points, some more break rate. Then we're going to camp the left side of the screen here, because it scrolls the other line of tanks off, and we can shoot them as soon as they spawn. Lets us charge up our meter a little bit faster. And then we get 4 of these big ships. If you don't kill the first 3 fast enough, the 4th one doesn't spawn. So we got all 4 there. That's good. Then 2 of these big ships. We want to kill both side turrets on the first one and the ship fast enough, because if you take too long to kill them, the second one doesn't spawn. That's a lot of the scoring in this game, is just killing things quickly enough spawns more enemies. So if it's not an enemy that you're going to be milking for points, if you can just make it spawn another one, that's more point items, more enemy kills, more of these EX stars. Just trying to maximize the amount that you get of everything. So we're going to wait on this break till about here, because these popcorn enemies can extend the timer on our break and also help us charge up a double break. And then we cancel those with the break to extend our timer, which is very important. We want to keep this break going. Turn off homing, because we're going to shoot these missiles. Oh, I just didn't get the double break off.
Ah.
So this is tricky. I really want homing for the next section, and I'm not going to have it. Okay. I also have the wrong lock-on shot active.
No.
I'm going to break. I want to reset my meter, because I want to change my sight option here.
Yeah.
Because the level 2 boss is back, and he's behind us. And with this lock-on option, I cannot shoot behind me. It's not great.
No.
It's also why I want homing, because with homing on, some of your options will just camp the bottom of the screen and shoot the boss. So currently, I just have to dodge what the boss is shooting at me and get points off of these guys, get my sight back. Very suboptimal. Normally, you want to kill this guy so fast that it spawns the second one. I don't think that's going to happen. This like big elevator climb is split into 2 sections, basically. And if you kill the boss after the second half, then yeah, we're not even going to kill him, I don't think. Yeah, it's just going to leave. If you kill him after the second half, then missile ships show up, which you can milk all those missiles for points. I miss input. I didn't mean to change my lock-on type there. And then the death meant that I didn't have the homing. And now we are in the hallway of hell. And I don't have my ship fully powered up, which is really scary.
Wow.
All right, we got the homing back. Get our speed back. So currently all this is on screen and we're on low rank, which means there's less bullets and the bullets are flying slower. So on a good run, when you're in high rank, imagine what this hallway looks like.
I don't think I want to.
This hallway is so hard if you die, because you're trying to power your ship back up, but there's just so many bullets, so you can't kill the enemies quickly.
Yeah.
It's so hard if you die right before the hallway. Also, it doesn't help that this is the warm-up run. So somehow we're still at 13 trillion. This run has been terrible. Yeah, so you see how that just turns into a chain reaction of death and horribleness. And so we're low rank going into the boss, which is all right. But we get this long section of fighting its little options because the final boss, following the shmup tradition of there being extra bosses, is another fighter ship. So it'll have options, and those are the little things that were chasing us. But that also means it's plenty of time for a rank meter to charge up.
Well, that's good.
All right, I need to not damage this too much because I do not want to charge my meter too much. I'm on the very edge of going between break and option there. And if I went into high rank, I absolutely needed to be able to break to survive there. We're in high rank now. But what can happen when you're in high rank, when you're in low rank, about to go to high rank on that stage of the boss, is it'll instantly shoot a new wave of those bullets. So it can overlap 2 waves of those bullets by going into high rank at the wrong time. So I needed a break to be able to clear the screen in case that happened. Oh, that bullet pattern is so hard.
Wow. I saw in chat that someone said that these games give me so much anxiety, and I have to agree. But there's something about just seeing all the bullets disappear and see all the points just relaxes me so much.
These games, so I'm playing on sort of the medium difficulty of this game because this game's hard. Almost all these games have novice modes. So if it's something that interests you, you can play easier versions. Like, select the difficulty that you find interesting and challenging. There's no shame in playing novice. The shmup community is very welcoming. We're pretty small. So, like, if people show up into the Discord like, hey, I want to try this, but it's hard. It's like, hey, new player, how's it going?
Those are the best type of communities, too.
So here is the first EX boss. I say first because Crimzon Clover is mean. It spawns this boss, which only spawns if you get here on 1cc. And then there's another boss after this that only appears if you 1cc this boss. And then if you don't 1cc that boss, you don't even get the credits.
Wow.
It just says, you were so close, try again.
Wow.
Right, having maximum speed for this boss is very important, partially because of this section. Ideally, I wanted to have homing so I could damage him that entire time. Oh. This boss also will shoot down your lock shots when you're invulnerable. It's pretty common for true final bosses to have some form of immunity while you're immune, just to prevent you from cheesing it with bombs. But the upside is every time it cancels your lock shots like that, it generates a bunch of the meter for you. Ah, there we go. We'll finish this guy off, and then we'll do another attempt now that we're warmed up a little bit more.
Nice, yeah.
So we're not going to see the final phase of the boss because I died.
So I did see this in chat, and looks like individuals are already answering, but for the sake of the VOD, and for those that may be watching us on YouTube, once again, hello, YouTube. What does 1cc mean?
It means 1 credit clear. It's an arcade terminology for not needing to put more coins in the machine.
I missed that.
Because, in an arcade thing, you can put in multiple coins, and in the bottom of it say how many credits you have. So the whole idea between 1cc's is you put in the minimum amount to play the game once, and you beat it. A lot of shmups, what they do is they include true final bosses or other things that only appear if you get the ones you see. And here's the mean screen. You're moments away from clearing the game. Try beating the boss without using a continue. And it doesn't even roll the credits.
Oh, wow. What a troll. But I like it because it's a way to like... It's a troll, but it's also kind of in that vein of, you know, wanting you to be like, hey, you can still do this. You can do this. Come back, you know?
Yeah. All right, so this time we're going to go in and we're going to try to get a good stage 1. So if, like, I make a dumb mistake on stage 1, I'm probably going to reset it. My goal score is usually around 1.8 to 2.3 trillion on this stage, which is a large increase from what we had last time. But like I mentioned at the start of the show, this is a very technical stage because we're manipulating our power-up meter very intensely. We're going to get 2 option ups on this first power-up, which you get by point blanking a lot. I didn't talk about this too much, but enemies, when they spawn on the top of the screen, are invulnerable until they're like fully on the screen. But you still get points and meter for shooting them. We call that point blanking, and it's a very important strategy for score running. Alright, so my ship is now fully powered up, minus the shield. So I'm going to try and charge up a shield as fast as I can by point blanking these enemies too. These little pod enemies, they're invulnerable until they open their wings. So it's another way to point blank them. You just sit really close to them and then shoot until they open up. So now we are fully powered up. We're in double break mode, and we're just going to try to get as many extend breaks as we can.
There's just so many points on screen.
Getting this next extend break is super difficult because these enemies don't spawn very quickly at first. It's very normal for that to be where that chain ends. But as long as you can get your next break started quickly enough, you're still going to score a decent amount of points like that. So that's pretty reasonable as long as I don't mess up the boss. We should be leaving this stage with about 2 trillion, which is pretty much right where my goal is for stage 1. If you can get all of those extend breaks in that section, chain them together really nicely, you can get 3 trillion on this stage. My personal best is 2.35. Oh, I didn't actually want to kill that yet. It's fine. I'm point blanking to build my meter faster so I can get a double break here. And we got the full lock shot. Nice.
It's really interesting that the
2.1, 2.2 trillion. That's actually pretty good stage 1. What was that? What were you saying?
It's really interesting that the boss, they give you that boss health at the very top, even though you, considering what you were talking about earlier, it's one of those things that you probably may not necessarily look at.
Yeah. Having to watch the boss health while dodging difficult patterns is a skill you have to develop. Because, like, if you want to get those full lock-on kills, you have to be looking at the boss health. All right, I'm going to try the gremlin strategy on this stage. So I want to point blank this guy, stay at the top of the screen to point blank as many of these medium ships as I can. Take a hit to my shields. I'll keep going. We're on a good start. We can rebuild our shields and still have a pretty good chance at a PB here. It's just going to hurt our score on this stage a lot. I'm not double breaking here because I want to charge up shields. And when I went over the breakdown of the meters at the beginning, you'll have noticed that the speed upgrade and the shield upgrade are only available when you're not in break mode. My alarm is going off because I forgot to turn it off.
Oh, no.
I have a daily alarm that goes off and then an earlier one for weekend shows.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can hear that. I'm sorry if you can. I obviously cannot interact with it right now.
I don't hear it on my end.
Okay. I mean, Discord might be removing it. So it could be audible on stream. If it is, I'm sorry.
I will wait for chat to let me know.
Shoot these tanks in the center because they make milking these harder. Then we get a bunch of these medium ships. It's audible, I'm sorry. It just stopped, which means it just snoozed itself. So once I beat the boss, I'm going to have to turn it off while the score countdown is going on.
It's just an
That was not me pressing the button. It timed out, it snoozed itself.
It's just an added feature to the showcase.
It's more difficulty, yeah. Taking that shield hit's annoying, but we're still in high rank at this point. At this point, getting the shield back is not as high priority, because if I take a hit to the shield, it decreases my score a lot anyway. We time killing that phase so that it cancels all those bullets. Ideally, I would have canceled 2 waves of those bullets, but since I broke my shield, every time your shield breaks, it actually resets your meter at the bottom. So it kind of threw off my route for this boss. Do I know the Electric Underground? Yep. There's actually a Discord server that was started by the Electric Underground called STG Rev 2020, Shooting Games Revision 2020. Sort of a community-based just hub for people who like to play shmups. It's really great. The mod of the server is actually in chat right now. Hi, Charlene. And he always intended for it to be a community server, so after a little bit, he turned it over. He's no longer the admin. And other people are helping run it now.
Oh, okay.
Oops, that was not a great hit.
Also, did you turn off your alarm?
I turned it off. Yeah, that's why I didn't advance the score screen instantly. Okay. We can still PB. It won't be a great PB, but, this is PB Precipice, so we're going to try for it.
Yeah.
So now I need to get the shield back, because I took a stupid death while I was talking. And I want to get the high rank back. At this point, high rank is the key to unlocking the higher scores, because it doubles your multiplier.
And keep in mind, any PB is a good PB, in my opinion.
Yep. I mean, I've definitely gotten PBs that I hate before, but that's just, motivation to get another one, A little bit before this show, my PB was 15.5. You'll notice my PB is now 17.1. I was not happy with that PB, but it was a PB. And the number of people who've actually gotten a PB on PB Precipice is actually kind of small, so...
Maybe we
just going for it,
we can join that elite group of people today.
All right. We're fully powered up going to the second half. Our score is not good, but we can still get a couple trillion here. But as I was talking about earlier, if people in chat enjoy shooting games and they're like not sure where to go to find other people who enjoy shooting games, that server, it's linked on the Electric Underground's YouTube channel. It's a pretty great place to go. Okay. Not looking great for the PB. Still possible. We're entering the territory of another PB that I'd hate.
Oh, yeah. So what inspired you to actually like do like high scores in this game?
I just like it. I don't know. Like shmups are a genre that I've been playing on and off for years. I picked up this game originally because it goes the original version, Crimzon Clover World Ignition, regularly went on sale on Steam for $2, and it's a very high-rated game. A lot of people say great things about it. It's $2, so it's like, of course, that's easy. And like, I kind of had this goal of I want to be good at this game for a while, and I never really put the time into it, and then at one point I did. Like, what motivates you to load up a particular speed run? Sometimes it's just like, I don't know, I felt like it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel when I pick up certain speed games.
So we need, what, 9 trillion to PB? I have gotten over 7 trillion on the final stage before.
Maybe.
I thought I was for the left. That was silly. So it's very possible. It's much more difficult when I die right on this boss, which I shouldn't die. If we take a death on the next stage, we're just going to reset.
All right.
And if that happens, we can probably take our first break.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next stage has the potential of scoring very high because of the milking strategy on the boss. So until I mess up that stage, we're not giving it up. So like currently my PB is like 17 trillion. If you add together all of my IL PBs, it's like 30.
Wow.
So it's just trying to get that run currently,
So for those who may not necessarily know a lot about like bullet hell or shmup games, and maybe know a little bit more about like traditional speedruns, when you look at like speedrun, like if you look at a timer, like a live split, there's always this like sum of best. How do you calculate sum of best when you look at the points like that?
You just got to keep track. Some people have score splits. I don't, because they're a pain to update. So I just sort of like in training mode, practice some stages, try to get consistent, and just keep track of like what my best score is on each stage. It means that my sum of the best is a little bit less accurate, but it means that I don't have to like update my score splits every run,
Mm-hmm. And I know you kind of said this at the beginning, and someone else may be in chat, but what's your do you prefer D-pad or stick?
I'm playing on an analog controller, so neither. A lot of people use fight sticks for shmups, which is, I think, what they were asking about.
I think so, yeah.
I am playing on a PS4 controller using the analog.
I kind of like that. It does give a lot of variety in how you can play these type of games, though.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got to score well in the second half of the stage, otherwise the PB is dead.
I believe.
See, I'm playing it risky, like dodging down, trying to pick up the big stars when they drop. But I have to make sure I don't get hit by those lasers while I'm doing it. Oh, I missed that lock. Oh, and I died. Okay, that's it.
Oh, no.
We're not. We're not going to be able to PB from there.
All right.
So, yeah, we can take our first break here, and then we'll do more after.
Yeah. This is a great time for us for our break. Do not forget that we're going to take a small break. It's a great time to get up, stretch, get some water, hydrate. Hydration is very, very important. And yeah, we're going to take a small break while we get all that set up. Do not forget that if you're watching this on YouTube, like I said earlier, hello YouTube. Be sure to hit that like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also head to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick if you're interested in looking at our live content starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern, weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll be right back with more Crimzon Clover. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to PB Precipice. I'm Midnight Vesper, filling in for ADEF for this particular show. While we get everything set up, do not forget, Awesome Games Done Quick 2023 online prize submissions are open from now until December 30th. You can head to gamesdonequick.com for more information. And the schedule for Frost Fatales 2023 will be released on December 21st. View the submissions at submissions.framefatales.com and let us know what you're hoping to see on the schedule. And with that, we'll go ahead and set it on back to Ray with this amazing high school run through of Crimzon Clover. Now, beforehand, while we were in the break, I want to say that for me personally, hearing that this was actually released on the Switch before the PC was actually kind of a cool concept.
Yeah, that's for the World Explosion version. Came out on Switch first. World Ignition was not on Switch. That was PC. But it makes sense because the Switch, you can turn it sideways. You can play in Tate mode. It was really nice when this came out on PC just because the lag's a little bit better. The input delay is just a little bit worse on Switch, but it's low enough that it's in that range that you can get used to it. The human brain's really good at adjusting to delay. But chat started talking about the cave discourse during the break. So real quick, what I'm going to do is just for context, the score that I'm going for. Currently, I'm down here at 14th. If I get around the 30 trillion, that is my long-term goal, I'd be in the top 3. Try to move up to number 1. It requires a whole different level of optimization. Not sure if I'd go for that, but top 3 is kind of my goal right now. So hopefully we can get there. And so Cave, if people are not familiar with shooting games, is a polarizing developer of some of the more popular games. They decided to push the limits of their arcade boards because what happens is it creates lag, which then means that they can create dense bullet patterns that you probably wouldn't be able to dodge without the lag. So some people find this a really cool concept and others hate the lag and say it's terrible. So if you see any shooting games going on a stream, people are probably going to start arguing about Cave. That's why. It's a whole thing. I tend to enjoy games that have hypermeters. So whether or not this game is directly inspired by Cave, I don't know, I'm not getting in on that. But one of the other nice things about this game is that there's zero slowdown. It stays at a consistent speed and gives you bullet patterns that are fair. So I really enjoy this game because it's just really well made. It plays nice, and having the hypermeter is just something I enjoy in these games. I didn't mean to do that. That's fine, I think. No.
We'll just do it again.
My route was a little bit behind, and I was trying to recover it, and then I changed my lock-on option instead of braking, and I was like, can I recover this? No, I can't.
I appreciate the comment in chat that went off and asked, How is the #1 world scorer averaging 42 trillion?
It's a lot of very well optimized brake usage, a lot of point blanking, getting a lot of brake extends. It's on YouTube. It's a hell of a run. I waited too long to hit my last option, so it wasted some of my meter, and then I wasn't able to get my last lock-on upgrade. And since the multiplier is based on how many enemies you lock onto, missing your final lock-on upgrade just limits the amount your multiplier can go. So it's really important that we get all of those lock-on upgrades. Didn't get that option. That second option there, we're pushing very close, trying to grab it right before the brake meter times out. So this is kind of showing you how tight the routing is on this stage. Like, it's very, very technical. The difficulty isn't super high on the stage, but trying to get the most out of our power-up routing is very difficult.
It's just so it's always so just, I don't know, routing for me just in every game is just such a cool concept, and just having so many people work on it and just work is just such a cool thing, especially when it comes to like these bullet hells where it's almost down to the frame about how to make this work.
Oh, I tried to go around the bullet and I went directly into it. Yeah. Routing in this game is interesting because there's like the optimal route. You look at the world record, and even the world record has some mistakes in it. So you can probably figure out what the optimal, in air quotes, route is. But executing that route is a whole different story. So if you're trying to get into score running, you basically have to look at the quote-unquote optimal route and be like, okay, what's an easier version of this route that I can do? And then you kind of mess around with it, and you find little optimizations, and sometimes you might find something that other people aren't doing. So there's some like collaborative routing, like in the Crimzon Clover channel on that Discord I was talking about earlier. We talk a lot about routing and like brake routing and little things you can do. There's somebody who's working on Arranged Unlimited right now, and they were posting their scores, and I don't remember what it was I said, and they're like, hey, I should do that. I didn't mean to break there. So they took something that I'm doing in Original, integrated it into their stage 1 route, and they increased their score by like 400 million. So pretty decent, increase.
And so kind of following up with that, in terms of possible like tassing for these type of bullet hell games, is that even possible, or is that something
for possible? Yeah, like you could task this on Switch probably. There are some Switch tasks. PC tassing is always a thing. It's very difficult. So any game that's out on Switch would probably be how you'd want to task it with the Switch itself.
Do you think
you could suffer through the PC task tools? It'd be a thing you can do, especially since there isn't really RNG in these games. Depends on the game. Some enemies have like a randomized bullet patterns, and I don't know if that would work out, but in this game in particular, most of the bullet patterns are based on where your ship is. Just the technical limitation of trying to create a task would be the hardest part.
Do you think that would be like almost like an advantage or anything that could be learned from that?
I mean, it would be basically just trying to figure out what is the optimal route. But the first task definitely would not be the optimal route because, like, I've been in the tasking community. It takes a few revisions to get things down to where it's, like, optimal. And especially in a game like this, where in a normal task, you're like, oh, hey, I saved a second on this stage. Because we're dealing with a multiplier that increases, even getting 1,000 more multiplier early on in the stage is a huge increase over the entire lifespan of the stage, because that's 1,000 more throughout the entire stage. You add a higher multiplier on the final boss each time. So like little increases in scoring can multiply into huge score differences. With a game like this, there would definitely be like technical things, like is it possible for a human to do this, because this is really hard but gives really good scoring. And one thing I've learned from speedrunning is things that people think are TAS only almost never stay TAS only.
Yep, that's true.
So as long as you have people who are willing to try for it, then, you know, somebody will go for it, probably get it. All right, last time I got here, I accidentally broke instead of saving my shield. You get into, on the other stages, you hear the sounds of your brake meter being ready, and you just press the button. So then, like, you get back to stage 1, and you hear the sound, and you press the button, and you're like, no, I wasn't supposed to press that. Because each segment on the power-up bar makes a standard sound, but whenever you hit brake ready, there's a different sound that it makes. So after a while, you're not even looking at your meter, you're just listening to it.
It's nice to know that there's a lot of more audible things to do. So you hear this, registers to do this, you hear that, registers to do that.
There was one tank left. I wasn't paying attention. He could have shot me. I was looking at chat.
Well, at least you noticed.
I am lucky, because those enemies don't shoot very often, but they can shoot. So that guy could have 100% just shot me in the back and popped my shield.
Ouch.
So this boss, I'm trying to stay close, because point blanking generates more meter. So I'm trying to stay close, generate meter without popping those turrets, so I can break them during double break, and then get the full lock-on shot. Didn't get the second turret, because I didn't quite optimize that well enough, but that might be 2.2.
Let's see.
Yeah, 2.2.
Nice.
I like this game for score running just because it feels nice. People look for different things in shmups. I really like the optimization that comes from dealing with a hypermeter. Because any game that has a hypermeter, you have to like plan it out, your usage. When am I going to hyper? How am I going to hyper? When's the best time to do it for score? I like that routing that exists in games with hypermeters. And this game just feels nice. There's that kind of like hard to describe sense of just a game controlling well. That's really important in shmups. And other, like, I might say one game feels nice, other people will go, what the hell are you talking about? I hate that game. So it's very like personal, opinion based. Well, this game has already gone on sale a few times, but its predecessor, World Ignition, used to go on sale for $2 regularly. So if you're interested in picking it up but you're not sure, I'd say just wait for a sale. It'll happen eventually.
Also, when you go back, like the feel, like there's a lot of various bullet hell type games out there, so you can always just kind of figure out which one you have the right feel for.
I'm trying to clear out these extra enemies around the train that spawns those mines. Trying to make it easier to safely milk that. Fortunately, I still took a hit there. We're going to be in high rank momentarily, so I'm not going to get my shields right now. Just going to try to score as best as I can at the end of stage. Be at like 4 trillion at the end. It's lower than my goal score here, but we can still PB off this. It's going to be kind of the motto of me doing these runs, is making a mistake and going, I can still PB, and then like just going for it. Because it's just so hard to string together a run where you make 0 mistakes. Even the world record with 42 trillion, they included some text commentary on that YouTube video, and they take a hit at a point, lose their shield where they don't want to, and just there's a bunch of W's on the screen because Japanese commentary, and then like there's a line about how they lost probably 4 trillion from taking that hit. So even the incredible world record that plays really well takes a hit where they don't want to. So take that to heart if you're trying to do score running. Don't aim for perfection. It's not going to happen.
I think some of that will just echo into speedrunning as well.
It depends on the game. There are certainly some games in speedrunning where you can go for perfection.
But it's like we were talking earlier with PBs and stuff like that. Sometimes you get a PB and you're not satisfied with it, but it's still a PB and it means you're going in the right direction.
All right, killing all the arm segments here is important. I haven't mentioned this, but there's in this last phase, every arm segment that's alive will shoot streams of bullets at you at a certain point. So in the first 2 phases, I want to make sure that I kill all the arm segments so this last section is easier. And it's also more points.
Which is what we want.
It's still pretty close to 5 trillion after the second stage. Like, definitely want to get much higher score on the second stage, but we came out of that in a decent position, so I'm happy. We're gonna re-get our shield here. Instantly pop it. Okay. I was trying to get rid of that sight upgrade because I have not practiced this stage with that sight upgrade.
So that's an interesting question that may or may not be able to answer, but what are the usual reset points or criteria when going for a PB, if any?
So generally for a shmup, you've got goal scores on each stage. For a range, it's a little bit different because you've got this whole power-up meter. But you just want to go like, okay, if I made a mistake in this stage, does it affect the other stages? Some games have very strict requirements for the true final boss. Dodonpachi Resurrection, for instance, has a limit on deaths and the number of bombs you can use. Otherwise, the true final boss doesn't spawn. So if you're going for the TLB in that game, you have to be way more strict about what you're willing to accept. But in games like this, it's like, okay, does this affect the score in the next stage? How much does it affect the score? Can I still PB? Ushihime-sama, on certain modes, you can't take any deaths to get the Aki boss to spawn. So you just got to know the game you're going for, what the requirements are.
I just always become enamored by just how much is on screen at any given time.
Yeah. One of the Steam reviews for Crimson Clover World Explosion made me laugh so hard because I was just looking one day. I love this game. I just wanted to see what people were putting in the review section. And it was like some of the like big numbers, point items everywhere, much dopamine, like something really simple like that.
I can see that.
And there's a certain part of the squirrel brain that's like, lots of stuff on screen, big numbers, you know?
That's how I feel when I watch these things.
I dropped my multiplier, so I had to try and play risky there to get a good lock on. Because like I was saying earlier, you generate your multiplier by getting a full lock-on shot, which is dangerous. Like that.
Yeah.
All right, we need to try and get homing back.
Like there are times where I just look at the screen, I'm like, I don't see any, like I know there's a boss on the screen right now. Then all I see are just bullets.
And people in chat are talking about speedrunning shmups. I'm not currently speedrunning. You could speedrun a shmup. There's certain games like Eschatos that encourage that, because there's very heavy time bonuses in Eschatos. So like killing each wave without missing enemies to spawn the next wave as soon as you can and doing it quickly is also the best way to get points in that game. So sort of encourages a mixture between score running and speed running. But most of the time for shmup community, people go for points, and they'll really only go for speed. In some instances, like speed killing can sometimes be more points or just safer.
And so follow up with that one, like because I know we've had bullet hell games on mainline GDQs, like were those kind of in that vein of speedrunning or scoreboarding or a mixture of both?
All of the bullet hells we've had on mainline GDQ have been score runs. The Mushihime Sama Futori run in particular was fantastic, because that game is rather difficult, and he had a goal score in mind and hit it while getting the 1cc on the true final boss. So if you haven't seen that run, it's fantastic. Espagaluda is going to be in HDQ this year by Colonel Fatso. That's a fantastic game with a whole different level of management. It's not really hypermeters, but you pick up gems which power up a different kind of shot, and then while you're using that shot, it powers down, and there's a lot of like planning and management of like when you want to switch your shot types. And of course, the cave haters are unhappy because almost all of the bullet hells that have been in GDQ are cave games, but they are just very popular games, so... I missed both of those lock-on shots.
We also haven't had a chance to talk about the music in this game.
Music is fantastic. I'm playing on the original soundtrack. This version of the game has alternate soundtracks that you can choose from. I just a big enjoyer of the original. Got the extra wave of ships to spawn. Nice. We're a little bit behind on where I would like to be points on this stage, but we haven't died. Our break rate is about 10,000 behind where I'd ideally like to be. And we also dropped our multiplier there.
Oh no.
But there's so many really bad mistakes in my PB. Like that. But we're just trying to PB right now. For the sake of the show, PB Precipice, it doesn't really matter if I like the PB. A PB is still a PB.
Yeah.
I want to try and kill these two little pods if you can, but they like to fly behind the boss and make it difficult. I didn't quite get the homing shot. We'll get back up to high rank on this section. Homing is very good for this section because they stay on top of these ships as they circle you. Gonna re-upgrade my speed while I'm at it. One thing I haven't mentioned is that when you go into break mode, it magnets all of the score points that are score items on the screen towards you. So break mode cancels bullets, which is worth points, but it also will grab those big score items if they're in a place you can't access, so you still get the points from them. So right there, I was trying to time my breaks to pick up the big EX stars and also cancel bullets with them. All right. I want to break here, get a lock on. Didn't get the lock on.
Ah.
Two of these ships spawning at the same time is difficult. So you just gotta make sure you focus one down quickly, because those ships, most of the large ships in the game do a bullet deletion on the screen when you kill them. So whenever you have multiple large ships on the screen at the same time giving you difficulty, usually the plan is to try to speed kill one, get the bullet delete. Makes it way safer. Also trying to kill all the turrets on this boss in phase 1, because if you let them all be alive, this first phase is extremely dangerous. And it also, again, deletes bullets when you kill them.
So I noticed a lot of times, I guess, for this, when you have these type of runs, you have to reset and start from the beginning and stuff like that. Can you do ILs for practice?
Yeah.
Okay.
The training mode that I had loaded up in the break is very good. You can load up any stage you want. You can load straight to bosses to practice just the boss. And you can set all sorts of modes, like especially in range, you can choose what power-ups you have, how many stars, how many X stars you have.
Now, is that unlocked at the very beginning of the game, or is that something like you have to like?
Yep.
Okay, so it is. Okay.
The only thing that's unlockable through gameplay in this game is the Type Z ship, which is not available in arrange mode. And you get that through getting 3 million of the little stars through any game mode. Which sounds like a lot, but even playing on Novice, if you play Novice and you're like a beginner and you learn to get through all of Novice in 1 CC, you'll end with probably 100,000 on your first run. And if you keep playing, then you'll push that score even higher. And especially since, it's going to take you a couple tries if you're a beginner at shooting games to even get that first 1 CC. You'll probably be over 1 million by the time you get the first 1 CC, and then you'll get better at scoring. You'll start generating more. You'll get it in a couple hours of gameplay, and if you just want to skip it, there are some save games on the shooting game Discord that just have Type Z unlocked. But Type Z is pretty difficult. It's very powerful. It's a very good ship, but it is extremely fast, which doesn't sound difficult, but it's hard to control because it's so fast. So jumping into a shmup, not having played it before, and starting on Type Z will probably be more difficult. So if you're, new to shmups and you just want to try this game because it's a good beginner game, starting without Type Z unlocked is probably a good idea.
I saw this earlier in chat, and I know I've not seen it. It may not be possible, but someone asked, since we have the break mode, double break mode, is there a triple or more?
Not really. In this mode, arrange mode, you can extend your double break, which is probably the closest thing. This is bad. All right, so I need a good second half of the stage if I'm going to PB. It's possible.
Just so much on screen. And then an answer, your PB for this was, you said 17.1, right?
Yeah, it's in the top right of the screen. Mm-hmm. It might be getting bit rated because this game doesn't stream the best at times, but It is in the top right of the screen. Oh, I almost always have homing through this section. And I'm trying to do this without homing because just trying to get through this. See, our score in the first half of this stage is not going to be good. I didn't speed kill that fast enough, so we're not going to get the fourth ship. Coming into stage 5 with the right power-up setup is very important. If you have to try to get your optimal power-ups at the start, it's very difficult. We can still get some points on this section and on the boss. But it's going to be very difficult to try to PB off this now. It's possible, and we're on stage 5, and just practicing stage 5 is a good idea, so we're going for it.
I just love when you're in double break mode, your blasters just take up basically the entire screen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that death sucks. I was trying to milk some points out of this boss so I can try to get the PB. This could be really hard now. Yep. I don't know if I can, but we're going to go for it just for practice on the final boss. Try to get that one CC.
I believe.
This first spider boss is going to go down here in a second. I probably should have waited to kill that to not spawn a second, since I don't have homing. Oh, that's bad.
Oh. We still get the one CC.
Maybe. We're going to the hallway of hell without the setup that I want, so...
Oh, yeah.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. That was just a dumb death.
Just letting you concentrate.
Yeah, this part's hard.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to say that.
I think you could just...
I think people can figure it out.
Yeah, you can just look at the screen and go, wow.
So yeah, we're well outside of PB range at this point. Like I said, my score range on this stage, if I have a good stage, is between 7 and 9 trillion. So we could have definitely still PB'd there. Just didn't get a good stage 5.
There's still time. Thanks for dropping that star off stage game. That was great. I'm trying to kill these little turrets more with shots than with lock-on shots because it generates more of the gauge.
And I want to be ready to break out of the bad situation in the first phase of this fight. Like that.
Wow. That was close.
And that's another difficult thing with arrange mode, is in the other modes, you just have a break meter. If it's full, you can break anytime you want. In arrange mode, you can only break when the power-up meter is over break. And if you sit there for too long, it'll move past break onto something else. So in arrange mode, you have to be paying very close attention. Sometimes you have to stop shooting if there's a point where you really need a break. And anytime you're not killing a boss as fast as you can, you're adding difficulty.
So in some spots, we do need to worry about, I guess, quote-unquote, speed running through that.
Yeah, speed killing is very important in some instances, just because it'll spawn more enemies, or other times it's just safer. All right, we have 3 lives on the TLB. We have a good setup. Don't have a shield, but that's fine. I'm probably just going to focus on this fight.
Oh, yeah.
It's very hard.
Oh, yeah. No, that's completely understandable.
I hit the brake button, so I thought I was fine against that bullet. Okay, we can just instantly lose 2 lives. Oh, come on.
So close.
I didn't mean to get that upgrade. Turn that off. All right, we can do this in real life. I've done it before. It's just hard.
Yeah. Oh, close.
This pattern is very difficult.
Yeah. Telling chat so much I said I cannot comprehend this game. I sometimes agree.
All right, so what I'm learning here is what I would normally do in this situation if I'm going for PB attempts. I need to practice this boss a little bit because I'm choking. So since this is supposed to be like a live PB stream, we're just gonna do a little bit of salty practice.
Yeah, that's what makes it fun. It also shows that, you know, that type of stuff is okay.
Yeah. So like when you hit a situation like that when you're going for PBs and you just completely choke, it's like, okay, let's take a moment to practice for a little bit. Catch your breath, go back in. So we're just gonna do that boss again.
So I did see this while we're practicing. do these types of 1cc score runs, do they have any safety or backup strats, or is it just a situation of you just kind of go?
You got to adapt on the fly. So anytime you take a death, it changes your plan, and you just got to be good at changing the plan on the fly. There's no safety beyond having a plan. Oh, come on. Taking a death there is fine. I expect to have at least one death in the early parts of this fight, because it just drops me to low rank for the rest of this fight.
There's just so much going on pretty much at any given time.
It's going to be difficult because the boss is going to get high rank in the final phase here, which is not fun. Okay, never mind. I was pushing that a little too close, trying to get some shots off. I thought I was far enough to the side. I was not.
Nice, the last second on that one.
All right, we're in the same situation, 3 lives, but worse ship setup, so...
That's a good point someone in chat made. When you get to that one phase and the boss is just slamming and bouncing against the ground on the bottom part of the screen, what are they actually bouncing against?
Their own pure will and determination, I don't know. Oh!
I like how in chat someone said don't blink, but I'm like, that actually brings a pretty good question. When do you kind of blink in this game?
It's less of an issue than you'd think. I think trying not to blink would hurt you more than anything.
I'd agree with that.
'Cause then your eyes would start watering.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice. Okay.
I need eye drops to spectate this. All right, we'll do one more attempt here before the next break.
Optimized blinking is just winking.
Blink one eye at a time. No, it's just Blinking is so fast. If you're not paying attention to it, you won't notice. Like, if you're focused on the game, you're blinking and you're not thinking about it. Like, good start. Got the early break.
Nice, nice.
Don't break, wait for the shield. Every other stage you break almost as soon as you get it.
Yeah.
There's a couple instances where you hold it, but it just becomes a habit. You hear the sound, you break.
And I guess the more you play it like in one sitting, the more you mentally remember, mentally kind of remember to remind yourself, like, don't break here, don't break here.
Mm-hmm.
I like how someone in chat said, think, don't blink. Words to live by. And I agree.
I think blinking is important.
Well, so is
Not so hot take. Blinking is a good thing to do.
so is thinking. They're both kind of important.
No.
Aw.
That's fine. We get our shield back right there.
Now, is it in terms of like the shields and upgrading weapons? Is it just determined by how many points you get, how many like kills you get, or is it like in some like games like the like 80s and 90s where they're just kind of pop up on screen?
So the big stars give points and a bonus to the meter at the bottom. There's a lot of other ways to generate break points. And it mostly comes down to shooting enemies, killing them, and a few other things. Point blanking is the big one. When you're up in an enemy's face or at the top of the screen, shooting enemies as they're coming out of the screen, you generate more break points. But there's a lot of other little ways to do it that I don't have time to get into all of them. The scoring system in this game is very complex, and we're looking forward to the physical release that's coming out next year because they promised an in-depth manual, which may explain some of the mechanics that we've been basically guessing at until now.
I miss manuals.
I pre-ordered it.
Nice.
Unfortunately, the deluxe version that has a lot of really cool things was sold out when I pre-ordered it.
When that happens.
And I'm tapping my fire button here a lot. I got hit in the shield. It's fine. We're about to hit high rank naturally anyway without a shield, so just gonna get some points here. Hope that happens soon. There we go. What did I just upgrade? I upgraded something. We have a shield now. What did I change? Oh, I have homing. Okay. Not something I wanted this early, but something I wanted eventually, so it's fine.
Good. Yeah.
I tried to break and I missed. I mistimed it right as I was picking up a bunch of stars. So I upgraded something. I was like, what did I just upgrade? So it changes the strategy on this boss a little bit. It's fine. It'll be a little bit less lower scoring, but it'll be safer. Homing is very good for speed killing. So these boss phases are going to die a little bit faster.
Which is
There's one more segment here on the right I really want to take down. We're not going to be able to kill all the segments, so we're going to cancel this first wave. Then I have to tap dodge very carefully there. And this last shot lasts longer.
nice.
That was a mess and we recovered it nicely, so I'm very happy with that.
Yes. Now, in terms of like the point system, do they always just kind of hover to you, so you can't really miss one?
When you're in break mode, all the little point items always home to you. Outside of break mode, no.
Oh, okay.
Outside of point mode, you need to be break mode. You need to be somewhere near them to pick up the small score items. So these medium ships here are another enemy. They spawn until a certain time in the stage. So the faster you can kill them, the more of them to spawn. Which is more big point items, more points in general. So you want to be in break, which does more damage, and just be ready to speed kill those. There's actually an achievement for doing that. There's a lot of achievements in this game that teach you how to do little scoring tricks, which is really nice. So there's an achievement for killing 8 of those ships in that section, which getting that achievement just means you score well.
So if you were...
I've failed every attempt to get a lock-on shot here. What's up?
So if you were like a completionist or an achievement hunter, how hard would that be to get a 100% on this?
Okay, so if you're trying to get all achievements, that includes 1cc'ing every mode.
Okay.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
Especially since that includes Arcade or Unlimited, which is the hardest mode in this game. Unlimited mode, essentially what it does is it creates more bullets than what would be reasonable to dodge naturally. But when you kill enemies with a lock-on shot, it clears bullets in a radius around it based on how big of a lock-on it was. So a full lock-on does what is essentially a full screen clear of bullets. Smaller lock-ons does smaller clears. And it's a very difficult kind of a puzzle because you have to have a very clear route for your breaks, but also your lock-on shots. It's very difficult. It's not a mode you're just going to pick up, decide to do a couple runs of and get a 1cc.
A lot of practice that goes into it. I know we said that we really enjoyed the soundtrack, but like the ambient and just the calmness of the music in this level just seems to be really different compared to the other levels.
Yeah. There's a bunch of bug enemies on this level. There's some passive storytelling going on here. And I kind of fit. I think the OST here fits the passive storytelling.
So what is the story then? Because I don't think I've asked that yet.
So the story is you're a ship that launches from a very futuristic aircraft carrier, and you go and you destroy a lot of enemies. But the passive storytelling here is sort of that we're now on a different planet. We've chased them to
Okay.
a different place than where we started. And so like the OST being very different in the stage kind of fits with that.
Right, yeah. Now that I get that.
It's very story light, but there can be a lot of just background storytelling in story light games.
Yeah. Well, I think not every...
Eschatos is another good example of that. I mentioned that game earlier. It has a lot of really good just passive storytelling and the visuals of the stages.
Yeah.
That's another one of those games where people either absolutely love that game or they hate it.
I like how it does kind of give you like 3D, almost like 3D elements where like during cutscenes you go under stuff.
Mm-hmm. Whew.
Nice.
That was dangerous, so I did not go for a full lock shot. It was just surviving. I actually break here, even though it's technically a waste, because since I've done a lot of IL practice, a lot of my strategies on these levels are from 0 meter to start with.
Oh, okay.
If I get the 30 trillion score I'm going for and I wanted to push higher, I would need to start rerouting a lot of these stages with starting on partial amounts of meter and like, how do I adjust? What's my plan? Because a lot of the top end strategies, you want to start each stage with a break, not have to build it up. That was very close.
I did see another question, kind of what we were talking about with the plot. Is there a main character or is the ship the main character?
The ship is the main character.
Did we ever get to see the pilot of the ship or not? I assume not.
Nope. I want to speed kill these to spawn a third wave. Very good. Oh, that's a bad death. It's fine. We're still in a decent position here. I wanted that homing shot. Had the opportunity to upgrade it before the break ran out. I just didn't hit it fast enough. So that death sucks, but we're still in a decent position. We can get a good amount of score from this stage still. Can still PB by a good amount. Wow, both of those little mini turrets were at like no health. And I kept dodging behind the boss. So we're back on high rank already, just because it builds so much faster at this point in the game. Gonna break there to grab those big stars. Can't grab those ones.
Hey, nice extra life.
Did I get one there? I was not paying attention.
I wouldn't assume you were. I just saw extra life pop up.
Oh, that was scary. Oh, I did that wrong. I broke too early. You want to break at the start of that so you can get a lock-on shot on the big Zako rush. Those types of very weak enemies that rush you very rapidly, are generally called Zako enemies.
Now, are these like names that were like the fans created, or is there like terminology behind them, or
I don't know where the source of these names came from. I just know
that's what
they are.
That's what they're called. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, that's what they're called. I don't know why. People are asking about which part of my ship takes damage. It's a little bit more complex in the center of the ship, because the edge of bullets also don't do damage. So it's the center of the ship and the core of bullets overlapping. Ah, it sucks. We can still recover this for next stage, though.
Does like each boss have like a certain form, like multiple phases, so to say?
Yeah. The little in the top, the health meter in the top left. You see there's a little gray line on it. That indicates when it's going to phase transition.
Okay.
I need my sight upgrade. There we go. This isn't going to be nearly as many points as it usually is, because we're not in high rank and our break rate is lower, but it's still 3 points. Like,
yeah, that's what we want right now, right?
The more points I get here, the more mistakes I can make in the final stage and still get a PB. It's already not a lot, but that was good. That's what I was talking about earlier, about how if you point blank those as they're coming out of the ship, they don't spawn the revenge bullets. Oh, that sucks. All right, I need to get the lock-on shot here. Lock-on kill. I don't think I'm going to get the homing upgrade here, but I'll be close. All right, we're at 11. We're not in high rank. Can do it. It'll be hard.
Let's see. I just like how there's like nothing in between them, where it's where you know sit down here and have like a almost like an overarching story that you know like still cutscenes of like, oh, now we're going here, now we're going here. It's just from stage to stage to stage to stage.
Yep.
I just like the fact that it's just sometimes just so hard just to say anything because you're just so just in there.
Okay. That's not the worst. We're a little bit behind on points, but we can still do this. Let's see if we can get this boss right. I'm not going to go for the full greedy strat on this boss. There's like a middle of the road strat that I'm going to go for instead. Still get a little bit of points off of the missiles, but not risking anything too dangerous.
Yeah. There's just so much going on.
Okay, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Nice. Now onto this.
This is going to be very close on if we can get the PB, but it's in range. It will not be a large PB if we get it, but
it'll still be a PB.
It'll be a PB. It'll be a PB.
And that's what we want to see.
Oh, that sucks.
Bro.
All right, I have to start doing some really weird optimization stuff.
Chat's got your back, looks like.
Okay. Missed out on some potential milking on these missile ships. That's fine. Why did that not give me the multiplier? Excuse me? That was a full lock-on? That's not a full lock-on, but it's fine. It's better than no multiplier.
I fully believe.
Oh, what sucks?
Shoot, there's just so much going on.
16? I think we're just short with that death. That's unfortunate.
Oh, no. Now, if you get, like, the optional bosses here, do they also count towards the high score or not?
Yes, but getting through them without dying is exceedingly difficult. And every death is going to cut my break rate, which makes them worth less and less points.
Gotcha, okay.
And especially since I've already died once here, my break rate isn't super high.
Yeah.
We're still going to go for the 1cc for the fans, but I don't think this is a PB. We'll have to take our second break after this, by the way. And that's why we call it the hallway of hell. I was doing really, really well. And I was just short on getting another break, which is what I needed to survive there. And I just missed it. Oh, that sucks. It's fine.
Oh, so close too.
All right, I need these speed upgrades back. My ship was very slow.
Oh, no. It's going to be close.
All right, we're in a decent position. No shields, but we're fully upgraded ship.
Let's see. Let's go for it. I believe.
Oh, it sucks. It's fine. It's fine.
We can still do it.
Oh, what the heck?
What was that?
He rammed me.
Oh my gosh.
His hitbox is active there.
Oh, wow. That's not cool. Wow.
That ram.
Yeah.
That was my fault. I was trying to point blank the boss as soon as they came out of the phase transition, and I was just too close.
Well, also, you know, you got they spawned right on top of you pretty much.
No, that's what I mean.
Okay.
I was trying to be in their face when they spawned, and I was just too close.
Oh, okay.
So it sucks, and it's like, but that is entirely my fault.
Wow. Well, like you said earlier, we're going to take our next little break here. This is a great opportunity to get up, stretch, get some more water while we get things, go through. Do not forget, we're going to continue on with this here in a moment, but yes, do not forget your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick, both with hotfix and with awesome Games Done Quick 2023 costs. So please consider subscribing if you enjoy the daily GDQ content. And if you want to follow what GDQ is up to, use ! links in Twitch chat for all things GDQ. Like I said, we'll be right back with more Crimzon Clover World Explosion in just a moment. Stay tuned. And welcome back to PB Precipice. Once again, I am Midnight Vesper filling in for A-Death. Just real quick, do not forget that Awesome Games 2023 online prize submissions are now open. From now until December 30th, head on over to gamesdonequick.com for more info. And the schedule for Frost Fatales 2023 will be released on December 21st. View the submissions at submissions.framefatales.com and let us know what you're hoping to see in the schedule. And also, do not forget that after this, we do have It's Dangerous to Go Alone, and they're going to be showcasing Stardew Valley with Frozen Flygon as the host. But before that, we do need to see if we can get a PB in Crimzon Clover with Railcoon, sorry.
Hi, I was practicing during the break, as you can see.
Yes. And practicing is important.
So we're just going to finish up this practice and we'll try one more good run. We're so close to PBing on like 3 of these runs.
That's the theme of the show,
right.
though. We're so close. We're just gonna, we're just gonna get there.
Now let's get a fresh run going here.
We got this.
Any believers in chat?
I believe this is going to be it. I think chat may agree, but
oh come on. I was like, as I was pressing the brake button, which deletes all the bullets on the screen.
oh,
that's why I reacted
frame.
like that. It's like, come on.
Chat believes. Chat's believing. There we go.
I just broke. Whatever. We'll try to salvage it.
I think we can try and salvage.
Means our score is going to be lower in stage 1, but
We can make it work.
it'll be fine.
Well, I know this may not be on PC, but for like when I know this game was released on Switch, whenever you go into like break mode or any of the other modes, and I noticed the screen starts to rumble a little bit. Is there rumble features like on the controllers as well?
Probably. I haven't really played it on Switch. I'm playing on PC right now. It's funny because the physical version that I ordered is for the Switch, and it's probably just going to be a box on my shelf because it looks pretty.
I have a couple games like that.
It's a good box. It comes with a manual. There's a few other nice things that come with it, including the soundtrack.
I love when I can get an OST.
right, so we recovered that to be 1 trillion. It was not a great stage 1, but we recovered it. And again, like most of our scoring is coming from the other stages. The whole point of stage 1 is we're going to be leaving at full power with a shield and high rank, which is what we did. So we're fine.
Good.
Anything like beyond that is just extra points. Shield hit sucks.
Oh, no.
It's fine.
Hopefully we can recover.
Yeah, I'm braking because I still have the 25 multiplier and I can carry that for a little bit longer. Like, I can't get a new 25 multiplier until my high rank is back, but I can keep extending this one. But now that I'm out of brake, I need to get a new shield. There's a shield.
Nice.
Now we're back in high rank.
And we're back up to 25. It's just amazing how you can look around while you're playing this type of game. If I would playing it, I would just be hyper focused on like one spot pretty much.
That's definitely how you start, but you got to learn to look at more than just your ship. Because you got to be planning ahead. You got to see where your safe spots are going to be.
Kind of like what you were saying earlier.
If all you're doing is looking at your ship, then you're going to get, locked into a corner, like I said earlier. So you get a feel of just like paying attention to where your ship is with your peripheral vision, and then when you have to do a really tight dodge, you focus in on where your ship is. Ah, come on. It sucks. It's fine, though.
Nice.
All right, we've killed all the arm segments, so we don't have to worry about the big streams of bullets. I'm going to try and get an option and then kill with a full lock-on shot. If I can get enough meter. I might be just short. So pick up 1 star and then get the option. And we're gonna be just short.
Aww.
Okay, it's fine. I want homing for this level. It's fine. I'll be able to get that right at the start.
How many people do you think it takes to man this to pilot and do all the parts of the ship? Do you think it's one person that's maneuvering it?
I think that's the implication. Like a lot of ship-based shmups are based around the idea of like the ace pilot. At least the ones that do have a concrete story, you know?
I do love the amount of detail that's in just stuff that you never notice, like the background, because you're not really focused on the background. But when you...
Oh, yeah, the backgrounds are great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Someone in chat is expressing their displeasure for this game. And that's the thing about shmups. Like, there's a lot of very different shmups. We enjoy different games, but, you know, same genre. It's okay to have different opinions, like the people arguing about Cave in chat earlier, you know. That is a debate that will never end. But the correct answer is that if you like cave games, that's fine. If you don't like cave games, that's fine. Yeah. We enjoy different things.
Just like you said, it's okay to have an opinion. If I'm reading this in chat, it said that for this, they said there would be one pilot with an AI in sorts to help, I guess, control like the weaponry and such.
The options, yeah. That's probably what I would assume as well. Just because most shmups that do have story, it's like the ace pilot doing the thing, you know? There's a couple that are team-based, but that's usually when you can switch between multiple ships during live play, you know?
Oh. I mean, you got to be an ace pilot to dodge a lot of these bullets.
Are we killed this fast enough? We're going to spawn some extra enemies here. Only 2, okay.
That's not bad. I like how the game...
So, people in chat are talking about, I don't remember those enemies here. A range does move some enemies around between stages, but this stage is pretty much the same. Ah, it sucks. The biggest changes are stage 2 and 4. In arrange mode. They removed the mid-boss from stage 2 and put it in stage 4 in place of the giant ship. And there's also a very minor change at the end of the first hallway in stage 5. For the most part, it's the same, though.
Right. So far, looking so good, point-wise.
Yeah, it's all right. Stage 4, we need a good stage 4. And then a good stage 5, but this is doable. The big issue I had with the mid-boss in stage 4 is it just wasn't hard. It didn't feel appropriate for where it was in the game. So they stuck the stage 2 mid-boss there, gave it a little bit more health, increased the difficulty just a little bit. And I think it works out pretty well.
And I guess all the bosses are all different bosses. There's no like returning bosses.
What do you mean?
Oh, okay. Like I know in some places like you'd have a boss that would come back, maybe it's stronger or something like that.
Yeah, so that happens in stage 5. You see some of the earlier stage bosses as regular enemies.
Okay.
They're actually a little bit weaker than when you fought them as bosses. Like those big lotus flowers that give me so much trouble in the hallway of hell, those are the stage 3 boss.
Oh, okay. I just never noticed that.
I accidentally downgraded my speed.
Oh no.
Because my brake wore out right when I was trying to hit the extend brake. It's fine. We can fix that. This is a good start. In some ways, lower speed is easier. There's some sections where you definitely need higher speed just to dodge things. But lower speed gives you more control. So
that's good.
Stage 5 final boss, though, there's multiple points where you absolutely need higher speed. Alright, I don't want to break here until all of them are in screen, because then there's the most lasers to cancel. It's not a big difference in points, but hey, it's 3 points.
Yeah. And that helps. 3 points helps.
Why would I give away the free points, you know?
Yeah.
It's like in speedrunning, like, hey, this trick saves 10 frames. It's not hard, but it's 10 frames, you know?
And at the end of the day, you know, frames are frames, points are points.
All right. Oh, that sucks. Okay.
Oh.
It's fine. When we're in low rank, those actually don't spawn the revenge bullets. So it's easier. Just normally have a break there. And you can't move too much if you don't have a break because they spawn so fast, you actually have difficulty killing them fast enough before they crash into you. The death there also changed some of the options we were going to change on our power-ups anyway. Oh, that sucks. Because we want the sight upgrade here, the forward lock-on shot. Because it helps us milk the turrets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Speed killing that first phase is just the safest way to do it.
Shoot, there's just so much going on.
Yeah, there's
Wow.
good milk.
That was like a crit or something that just happened there.
That was the time on the phase ending.
Oh, okay.
Like I was talking about how in range mode there's time limits on the boss phases.
Yes. Okay, yeah.
That sucks.
Ooh.
For some reason, I always die to that. I have trouble with it more than I should. It's possible.
Close.
It's going to be real hard. We're pushing it close.
Yep.
At the very least, we're showing that I have been within reach of this PB.
Yeah,
and all of these that have been above 15 trillion would have been a PB a week ago, by the way.
It definitely shows the level of like dedication and repetition that comes into these type of games. The more you watch it, though, the more it does entice you to actually play these type of games.
There's a really good novice mode in Crimson Clover. It's one of the better ones to get into as a beginner if you want to try out shmups. Just would recommend waiting for a sale because the explosion version is more expensive than Ignition was. But if you wait long enough, it'll probably go on sale to similar levels of like single-digit dollars, you know. Ah, it sucks. That's probably the end of the PB.
No.
But this is probably our last run for the show anyway. We don't really have time for me to start a new one.
Yeah.
So we'll finish this run out.
I like that text. Do you exist to save the world, or is it to break?
So that text actually changes. If you load up a replay where you won CC, it's a message from yourself thanking you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's just kind of a little meta thing.
Yeah.
And it's also really funny because the one that it just showed uses your Steam username, but the one in a replay uses the name you put into the Hall of Fame.
Huh. Interesting.
It's like that one just called me Nuclear backwards, but on a replay, if we load it up, it'll say Ray.
Oh.
Because that's what I usually put my name as in the score entry.
I guess that's just to like hide Steam identities.
No, I think it's just... I don't think there's any reason behind it. It's just, a little detail. Okay. We're not going to PB this run, but we'll try to finish it out.
For the fans, right?
Yeah. We have 6 lives. We cannot gain any more. We have capped out on our life gain.
All right.
It's probably one of the ways in which Arrange is the easier difficulty. It has some things that make it more hard difficult, but you just get way more lives in Arrange.
Yeah.
Oh, that was bad. I just haven't had a good entry into the hallway of hell at all. So what I'm trying to... That was me being greedy. So the hitbox of the shot on Type 1 actually extends a little bit below the ship. And since I'm in a bad situation, I'm trying to, hug the top of the boss to hit it with my shot. I probably should have just waited and not spawned a second spider boss.
can't even tell where the boss is. or we're not even at the boss, but the enemies are.
Yeah, Discord's probably murdering this a little bit. I think Twitch stream is showing it better, but Discord does not like this part of the game.
Yeah, it definitely looks better on the stream. Because I have that pulled up on a different monitor. So Discord is definitely not having fun with this.
Yeah, Discord screen shares are just lower bit rate.
Yeah.
Besides the deaths at the start, that was actually a pretty good hallway hell. If only I could have just gotten one of those on any of the other runs. And it is also like the difficulty level of this increases with me talking.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
But if it came down to it, like I said this on Fant's show, like if it comes down to it, like getting the goal and being quiet versus like talking and being entertaining, I'll try to be entertaining for the sake of the show, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I think we showcased the game relatively well. I don't stream super often. Sometimes I stream smups when I do. So you can feel free to follow if you want. Just Railcoon on Twitch. Just don't expect frequent streams. And of course, make sure you stay tuned after this for Think Fast, the speedrunning trivia show of Fast Minds, and I don't remember their full tagline. I'm sorry, May. They speedrun games while answering trivia questions, and if they get the trivia questions, they get a time bonus on the end.
Oh, that's nice, yeah.
They put a lot of work into that show. It's really cool. I definitely recommend sticking around. It's a lot of fun. Oh, well, yeah, sorry. That was yesterday. It's dangerous to go alone after this. Thanks, Worm. Today it is 4-player co-op Stardew Valley.
Yes, yes.
I don't remember all the player names, but it's hosted by Frozen Flagon. We had our producer in our ear correcting me for being wrong. That's usually my job.
Yeah. We're all human.
Oh, that section is really hard on high rank. The lasers themselves aren't bad. It's just when it's the lasers plus that, those little purple orbs that shoots at you. Orb. This boss is also an orb.
Orb.
We made it almost 3 hours without orbing, so I'm saying it at the end.
Yeah, yeah. And we do have awesome games Done Quick coming up in a couple of weeks, so we can all orb then too.
I'm hungry. I'm gonna get food after this show.
Food sounds like a good idea.
Have y'all eaten food yet, chat? What'd you get? Give me ideas.
Yeah.
I'm still quarantining after a COVID exposure. I haven't tested positive yet, but I'm like playing it safe until I get a negative test we can trust. So I need to order some food. So
I don't have a...
give me ideas by telling me what you had for lunch today.
I had some breakfast burritos, so I haven't had lunch either. So...
Ah, it sucks.
You'd still do it.
It's fine. Our rank meter is absolutely empty. There's the silver lining there.
Yes.
This pattern is extremely weird. The bullets themselves move fine, but the ones that spawn near the edge of the screen bounce off the edge of the screen. And some days I'm very good at reading it, and other times I just struggle. And today is one of those days where I'm just struggling with that pattern. Probably because I'm talking.
Yeah. But it's fun. It's entertaining.
All right, we're just going to focus on this. We have no lives. God, sucks. It's the worst time for it to switch between low and high rank because it overlapped 2 patterns on top of each other.
Ouch.
That's one of the most difficult things about a range is like there's certain times where it's switching to high rank is just the worst. And if you don't have a break ready, it's awful.
Yeah.
Let's get a full lock-on shot, just for style. And this boss rains so many stars when you get a full lock-on, because it takes so long to die.
Oh, yeah.
Something chicken teriyaki. That sounds good. Bagel sandwich.
Salt fruit smoothie.
But yeah, that's Crimzon Clover, World Explosion. This is the new version. Unfortunately, World Ignition is not for sale anymore.
Oh.
That's the one that always went on sale for $2. If you like shmups, if you've been curious about shmups, this is a great beginner game. The novice mode is very approachable. I definitely recommend it highly. And if you're a shmup enjoyer and you've been looking for a place to hang out, the STG Rev 2020 Discord server, it's linked on the Electric Underground's YouTube channel. It's a really big hub of just a shooting game and shmup community people. A bunch of people there have been hanging out in chats. Thanks everybody that I recognize. And thanks for having me. And Vesper, thanks for filling in for 8F who couldn't make it today.
Of course.
But that's pretty much it for me today here on PB Precipice.
Yeah, it was my honor to fill in for 8F. And it was my honor to watch this run. Thank you very much, Ray. And do not forget that we do have another show coming up here in just a little bit at the top of the hour. It is Dangerous to Go Alone, hosted by Frozen Flygon, with a 4-player co-op of Stardew Valley. So this is a good time to get up, stretch while we get all that taken care of, hydrate, all that jazz. And just do not forget that your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support GDQ, both with hotfix and with awesome games done quick 2023 costs. So please consider subscribing if you enjoy the daily GDQ content. And finally, if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like this button. Be sure to press the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. I know this script and I still mess it up. Also, head on over.
We've all been there.
Also, head to twitch.tv/GameZone if you're interested in looking at our live content. Starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. Thank you all very, very, very much. And we'll take a small break while we set up for It's Dangerous to Go Alone.